It is the single most important money decision most Americans will ever make. Bigger than buying a house, bigger than picking a retirement account. And most people make it in an afternoon, based on a feeling, without ever running the actual numbers. I'm talking about the moment you decide to start taking your Social Security. You can start as early as 62. You can wait as late as 70. And the gap between those two choices, for a person with an average earnings record, can add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a retirement. Same person, same work history, same benefits earned. The only difference is the age they signed up. So today, I want to do something most people never take the time to do. I want to walk through the real math with you, not the sales pitch from somebody trying to manage your money, not the rule of thumb your brother-in-law swears by, the actual numbers in plain English so that by the end of these few minutes, you'll understand the trade-off well enough to make the choice that's right for your life, not somebody else's. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. There is no single correct answer. Anybody who says always wait until 70 or always take it at 62 is selling you something. The right answer depends on you, your health, your savings, your family, and a few things most people never stop to consider. Let me show you why. Let's start with the foundation, the thing you have to understand before any of the rest makes sense. Social Security has what's called a full retirement age. For anyone born in 1960 or later, that age is now 67. That's the age the government considers your benefit complete. If you claim exactly at 67, you receive 100% of what you earned. They call it your primary insurance amount, but you can just think of it as your full check. Now here's where the choices open up. If you claim before 67, your check shrinks permanently. If you claim after 67, your check grows permanently. And those two facts, the shrinking and the growing, are the entire game. Let me give you the hard numbers, because this is where it gets real. If your full retirement age is 67 and you decide to claim at 62, the earliest the law allows, you don't get your full check. You get about 70% of it. That's a 30% cut. And it does not go back up when you turn 67. It does not correct itself later. That reduced amount is what you will receive every month for the rest of your life. Let me put that in dollars, because percentages hide the sting. Say your full check at 67 would have been $2,000 a month. Claim at 62 instead, and that check drops to about $1,400. You just gave up $600 a month, every month, which is roughly $7,200 a year for the rest of your life. Now let's go the other direction. If instead of claiming early, you wait past your full retirement age, the government rewards you. For every single year you delay between 67 and 70, your benefit grows by about 8%. Wait all the way to 70, and you collect about 124% of your full check. That's a 24% raise, guaranteed, with no risk. Something you cannot get from any bank or any investment on earth right now with that kind of certainty. So take that same $2,000 check, wait until 70, and it becomes roughly $2,480 a month. Compare that to the $1,400 you'd get at 62, and you're looking at a difference of over $1,000 a month between the person who claimed early and the person who waited. Same exact worker, same career. $1,000 a month apart for life based on nothing but timing. When you hear it laid out like that, it sounds obvious, doesn't it? Just wait until 70. Take the bigger check, but hold on. because this is exactly where most of those online articles stop and exactly where the real decision actually begins. Before I go further, let me say one quick thing. If this is the kind of breakdown you've been looking for, honest math, no spin, no product being sold to you at the end, then I'd be grateful if you'd subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I make these videos because I believe every American deserves to understand the benefits they spent a lifetime paying into, explained the way a good friend would explain them across the kitchen table. No jargon, no fear, no agenda. If that's worth something to you, your subscription is what keeps this going. And I'm thankful for every one of you who's here. Now, let me show you the other side of that math, the part the just wait until 70 crowd conveniently leaves out. When you wait to claim, you are giving something up in exchange for that bigger check. You're giving up years of payments you could have been collecting. Think about it. The person who claims at 62 starts getting checks 8 years before the person who waits until 70. 8 years of money in hand, spent or saved or invested while the other person is still waiting. So the real question isn't which check is bigger. The bigger check is obvious. The real question is, how long do you need to live for waiting to actually pay off? Financial folks call this the break-even point, and it matters more than almost anything else in this decision. Here's roughly how it works. If you wait until 70 and collect that larger check, it takes time for all those bigger payments to catch up to and then surpass the head start that the early claimer got. For most people, that catch-up point lands somewhere in the early to mid-80s. The exact age depends on your numbers, but that's the neighborhood. Which means the decision really comes down to a question only you can answer. Do you have good reason to believe you'll live well into your 80s and beyond? If you come from a long-lived family, if your health is strong, if your parents and grandparents lived into their late 80s and 90s, then waiting is very likely the smarter financial move. Every year you live past that break-even point, the patience pays off more and more. For a healthy person with longevity in the family, delaying can mean tens of thousands of extra dollars over a long retirement. But if your health is shaky, if you've got a serious condition, if the people in your family have tended to pass earlier, then claiming at 62 or somewhere before 70 may genuinely be the wiser choice, because the bigger check does you no good if you don't live long enough to collect it. Taking the money earlier, while you can enjoy it, while you have your health to travel or help the grandkids or simply live with less worry, that has real value too. Value that doesn't show up in a spreadsheet. And there's more to weigh than just how long you'll live. Consider whether you're still working. If you claim early before your full retirement age and you're still earning a paycheck, Social Security can temporarily withhold part of your benefit. In 2026, for every $2 you earn above about $24,000 a year, they hold back $1 of your benefit. So claiming early while you're still working a decent job often makes very little sense. You give up part of the check anyway. Consider your spouse. This one gets overlooked constantly. When one spouse passes, the surviving spouse generally gets to keep the larger of the two benefits. So if you're the higher earner in your household, delaying your check doesn't just buy you a bigger payment, it buys your spouse a bigger survivor benefit, potentially for years after you're gone. For married couples, that single fact can completely change the right strategy. And consider your savings. If you have enough set aside to comfortably cover your expenses from 62 to 70, then you have the luxury of waiting and locking in that bigger check. But if you don't, If claiming early is the difference between paying your bills and falling behind, then taking it earlier isn't a mistake. It's survival, and there is no shame in it. Social Security exists precisely so you can lean on it when you need it. So let me bring this all together, the way I'd say it to someone I cared about. If you're in good health, you have other income or savings to carry you, you're the higher earner protecting a spouse, and longevity runs in your family, waiting towards 70 is very likely the strongest financial move you can make. That 24% raise is real, it's guaranteed, and it compounds across a long life in a way almost nothing else can match. But if your health is uncertain, if you need the income now, if you're done working and the money would genuinely improve your life today, then claiming earlier is a perfectly sound, perfectly rational decision. Don't let anyone shame you into waiting for a bigger check you might never fully collect. There is no one-size answer. There's only your situation, your numbers, and an honest look at your own life. Here's the one thing I'd ask of you before you decide anything. Go to the official Social Security website, that's ssa.gov, and create your personal account. It's free. It takes about 10 minutes, and it will show you your actual numbers. Exactly what your check would be at 62, at 67, and at 70, based on your real earnings record, not the averages I've been using today. Those are your numbers. That's the only spreadsheet that truly matters. Make this decision with your facts in front of you, not a stranger's estimate. You spent your whole working life paying into this system. Every paycheck, every year. You earned the right to make this choice wisely, with clear eyes and good information, instead of a guess and a hope. If this helped bring some clarity to a decision that confuses millions of people, do me a favor and share it with someone you love who's getting close to this age. A spouse, a sibling, a good friend. This is the kind of conversation that's worth having before the decision gets made, not after, because once it's made, it's permanent. May God bless you. May God bless your family. And may God bless the United States of America. I'll see you in the next one.